Hey, how the heck are you doing? I am D.W. Wanberg, and this is D.W.'s show for the 4th of the 4th month, which would be April in the year of 2010. And, oh boy, yeah, do I have anything to talk about today? Yeah, I think I do. I think I got plenty to talk about. And, one thing I want to do is talk about the film festival. And I'm looking for my tickets. There they are. Because with my tickets, I'll remember what films I saw and can talk about them. But do I have clips today? Yes, I do. And I actually have 2 sets of clips. Not just one set of clips, but 2 sets of clips. So, do we want to go to some clips right away? Yeah, I'll just talk about the clips first. I've got bird clips. I've been doing bird clips for years, and hope you enjoy these birds clips, but they're not going to be right at the beginning of the show, because I like to put my clips at the end of the show. Anyway, so I can just coast to that end there. But I got some clips of the rally on Saturday at the Capitol, and actually there were 2 or 3 rallies, depending how you count, I guess. There was the rally of the union cab drivers, and right behind them, I don't know if it was the same rally or they just were right close to each other, but the Latinos were marching, and then separated by a period of time was the zombie rally, the zombie march, and went down to see those guys, and heard 1 o'clock, okay, so I'll go shoot some birds. And I shot some birds, but we're not going to see them at the exact same time. But why don't we go to the State Street rallies? And actually, the zombies went around the Capitol, and you know, those zombies, it's like they don't march real fast, and they had a long time getting started. You know, it was supposed to start at 1 o'clock, but I think they started marching or munching on brains at about 1:20 or something, and they didn't really hurry their way up State Street. Anyway, so I got shots of them, and we'll see those. And I'm not going to do any commentary over these, but it starts with the union cabs, the Latinos right behind them, and then the zombies, and it should be explanatory, self-explanatory, what these folks are doing. But anyway, let's go to those clips.
Barbie reenactment scenes. I'm gonna send you the website. He's like, oh God, what is that? Is it a video?
Okay. We're gonna keep walking. She seems okay. You don't want to go last? What? You want to go behind? I'm the talking dog.
I got it right here. Consume more! Eat more! Hungry! Very hungry!
Oh, please pet your dog. Because it's so
Okay, there you go, and the latest protest at the Capitol. And, oh boy, so why don't I jump right from that? Was there anything that I want to talk about today? I think that the president made some sort of announcement. What was that? Yeah, he's going to be on Dancing with the Stars. No, maybe it wasn't. It was something else. It was something else. If I think of it, maybe I'll bring it up in the show. But anyway, let's go to the Wisconsin Film Festival. Well, how can we do that? It's over. No, actually, let's talk about the Wisconsin Film Festival. And it was the 13th Wisconsin Film Festival. And I've told this story many times, but how the Wisconsin Film Festival started, it was by the tourism department, And what they did was they announced that they were going to have a big film festival. They announced that Robert Redford was coming, and that Jim Abrams was coming, who made Airplane with the Zucker brothers, and so they made these announcements, had a wine and cheese party. Of course, they had never contacted Robert Redford or Jim Abrams, so, and then I don't know, they lost interest with the idea, and they threw it in the lap of the university, which, fortunately for us, the people of Madison, it didn't stay with the Bureau of Tourism, and it has grown into one of the great festivals in this nation. I do believe, and somebody can back me up, especially one of the great festivals for introducing independent features, shorts from around the world, and my color is kind of changing here a little bit. But anyway, so when you think about Mr. Walker and should I anyway, Mr. Walker's idea of, first of all, cutting out the Wisconsin Arts Board, just cutting out funding for it, and what little funding there is going to be will go through the tourism department. And that just makes me think maybe the tourism department is not the right people to be in charge of the arts, because they sure did a poor job, and granted that was 13 years ago, so maybe the same people aren't there, but I don't know. It's one of Walker's great ideas that he wants to pull off, or I don't know. Anyway, so a cautionary tale, but maybe I don't know. But anyway, so that's Walker's big idea, to disband the Wisconsin Arts Board and put what little funding he wants to put into arts, which apparently is nothing, to let that go through the tourism board. I guess as long as it's about cheese and hunting, then your art project has a slight chance of being funded. But anyway, so Wisconsin Film Festival this year, the big 13th festival, a great festival, and the films that I saw were starting with 13 Assassins, and this was a Japanese film about this horrible shogun, the son of a shogun and the brother of the shogun that would do these unspeakable horrors, and he needed to be taken out, basically. So it's kind of an inside job, and they send this guy hires this samurai to take this this lord out, and they are vastly outnumbered, and it's a very, very bloody film, but a great film anyway, in the style of Kurosawa, but kind of Kurosawa on steroids. If Kurosawa didn't have enough steroids, he's got plenty more. And I'm getting a little fuzzy here, but I'm coming back. Okay, that same night I saw The Robber. Can we get the focus? Yeah, I guess we did. And that was an interesting film. It was about a marathon runner who it starts out he's in prison, and he's got one of those runner things that a treadmill, and he's practicing his running on that, and gets out and robs banks, and wins marathons, and robs more banks, and anyway, and it's supposedly it's based on a true story. It was very interesting. I run marathons, but I don't win marathons. I'm a big slow guy, relatively speaking, and it was interesting. I don't rob banks. Anyway, saw Bill Cunningham, New York, which was about this guy who works for the New York Times and shoots, I don't know, about town or something. These photo essays, and he does, I don't know, street life, I guess, is one of them, and about town maybe is the other one. It's one of them is just about fashions people are wearing on the street, and another is about fashions people are wearing at fancy dinners and benefits and stuff. And he rides around the town on a Schwinn, the 29th Schwinn that he's had, because 28 of them have been stolen. After that, right after that, I went to go see On the Bowery, and rip ticket there. And that was about the Bowery of New York City, Skid Row. A narrative feature film, just 62 minutes, and very good, but and very realistic, but somewhat tragic, and it's about folks drinking themselves to death, basically. Although the end is a little bit hopeful. And there was actually another movie made, or not made, but with that, about the making of On the Bowery, which was very interesting. And Martin Scorsese Scorsese was very influenced by On the Boundary, and John Cassavetes was very influenced by that too. Very realistic. Sometimes it's referred to as a documentary, but it actually is a narrative film. Of course, using actors that lived on the Bowery. The director lived there for 4 months before he actually started shooting, just getting the feel for the place. And the lead actor actually got offers to go to Hollywood, but did not do that. Went off on a train and was missing. Never seen again. Bodyguards and Assassins, and I'm running out of time here. China, somewhat like 13 Assassins in that it's a big bloody film about the Chinese Revolution before it got started, kind of. And what's the name of this? Potais? I don't know, it's French. Catherine Deneuve, Gerard Depardieu, and he has gotten a little heavy. And it was great to see those actors working again, and I really enjoyed that film. Loving Lampposts, about autism, about and there was a saying in there, if you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person, and I've got to pause here for just a second. Well, it was Mayor Dave calling, and it apparently wasn't actually Mayor Dave. It was just his recorded voice. So thanks for that, Mayor Dave. But anyway, where the heck was I? I was talking about films, Loving Lampposts, and it kind of came to the conclusion that well, it discredited some of the mercury in vaccines cause of autism, and it's basically said that, well, you should just, if you've got an autistic kid, maybe there's nothing you can really do, but you should get to know the kid, get to enjoy the kid, and anyway, that's what you should do. Parking, a really good film, and that's not actually the ticket for it, because it was the only film that I went to that I didn't actually have a ticket, and I was very lucky. Usually you can get into films if you don't have a ticket. There's a rush line, and I was like, there was one person after me that got in. I was the 10th person, but in a small house like the Cinematheque where it showed. It was a really good film made in Taiwan about a guy on his way home, stops for some cakes at a bakery and gets double parked, and then tries to find out who the people were, and I don't have time to go into it, but it was a very, very good film if you get a chance to see it. Meek's Cutoff, a Western, and done by this gal that I can't remember her name, but was really well done. About 3 families going through Oregon, not really knowing where they were going. The guide wasn't the best guide ever. And met an Indian, which the guide wants to kill, and this woman, kind of the main character of the film, wants to keep alive. I mean, why just kill them because they're an Indian? And anyway, it's a good film. I'm Acquainted with the Night, a documentary, and I've got to get going, about the night and fireworks between 2 churches. They cover it with chicken wire, shoot fireworks, and everything is fine. And also Northern Lights, and great film, and good film, very good film, maybe not a great film. And everything is going fine about Spalding Gray, Steven Soderbergh director, and really good using old grainy video. But anyway, it's time to go to the films. The birds on Monona Bay. No, starting with birds on Starkweather Creek, some wood ducks. Here is a female wood duck on Starkweather Creek. This is a blow-up shot. This is a male wood duck. Very pretty coloring. And wood ducks were almost hunted to extinction, but now they're making a comeback. This is the first time I've seen them in Madison. I chased them up and down the creek and got this distant shot before they finally were up in a hurry and flew away. This is April 1st, and we are getting an April Fool's Day snowstorm. This is an old willow tree. The flakes dropping. Big old flakes. There's one on the lens, there's another. Little daylily shoots coming up through the snow. Here we are on Monona Bay, and these are Canvasbacks, and they're named because there's a female right there. There's the male, and the males kind of look like they've got a sheet of canvas wrapped around them. They stay mainly in the water, don't go on land much, and they're were hunted, and their numbers are down mainly because of loss of habitat. These are Buffleheads, again on Monona Bay. Kind of smaller ducks. And that's the male Bufflehead there, with the larger spot on the head. They're This is the female bufflehead. Smaller spot on the head. And they're named Buffleheads because they look a little bit like a buffalo. I mean, their head looks a little bit like a buffalo. This, the male. Swimming and diving ducks. And there's the female bufflehead. These shots on Monona Bay near the Brittingham picnic shelter. Bufflehead's about maybe half the size of a mallard, which is the standard duck that you see. This is a female ruddy duck. And these ducks that you've seen today are just migrating through Madison. They don't stay here year long. There is a male ruddy duck. And this is on Monona Bay again, from about the same place I shot the canvasback and buffleheads. Little display there from the male. Bluebill. The females, which you see right here, occasionally put their eggs in another nest if they've lost their nest or can't find a nest, called parasitism. They'll put it in the nest of another ruddy duck. These ducks are small, maybe half the size of a mallard. Not as much diving ducks as the buffleheads and the canvasbacks. A lot of preening, though. Here's a display from the female. Here we are on top of the MG&E power station, and this is a peregrine falcon. And last year I shot a family of them in a box that is below where this girder shoots out. This is a blow-up shot, a little bit grainy. And the peregrine will nest on high cliffs. You see the box below, and this is the MG&E power station. On April 3rd, we had a hailstorm, and these are some hailstones I picked up in the yard, about up to 2 inches big. You see the yardstick there? And they have these spikes coming out of them. And can they do some damage? Yeah, there's a little dent in a car. And with that, we end the clips and this week's DW show.